Hello learners, once again I welcome on the class of fluid mechanics. So I hope you all are safe and doing well. So in the previous discussion we have seen the about the fluid dynamics, and in fluid dynamics I have discussed the various equation of motion like Navier-Stokes equation, Euler's equation and Newton's law of equation and Reynolds equation. And after that I have discussed the Bernoulli's equation, and Bernoulli's equation I have discussed three forms, that is Bernoulli's equation per unit weight, per unit mass and per unit volume. And after that I have discussed the various devices which is used for the to measure the discharge like Venturi meter and orifice meter, and some terminology I have already also discussed, that is coefficient of discharge and coefficient of contraction. So today I am going to discuss another very important device which is used to measure the theoretical velocity, that is pitot tube. And after that I will discuss what is stagnation point, and after that I will discuss briefly the what is anemometer, what is elbow meter and what is nozzle meter, and after that I will take some problems based on the fluid dynamics. So today I am going to discuss about the pitot tube. So pitot tube is basically used to measure the local velocity in a flow, and with the help of that I will show you the expression of theoretical and actual velocity. Let us discuss pitot tube. Used to measure velocity of fluid. This is our flow. This point is 1, this point is 2. Here we have installed pitot tube. So this is our pitot tube. Point 1 is the just before pitot tube, and point 2 is the just at the pitot tube. So if I apply the Bernoulli's equation, let small h be the differential head of pitot tube, and this differential head expression we know, P2 by gamma plus Z2 minus P1 by gamma plus Z1, or this X is directly we can compute, as I told you in the last class. H is equal to X G2 by G1 minus 1 for the manometer, where G2 is greater than G1, or inverted manometer, X into 1 minus g2 by g1. This is for the inverted manometer, and here g2 is less than g1, where g2 and g1 is the specific gravity of fluid. So apply Bernoulli's equation at 1 and 2. So we can write P1 by gamma plus B1 square by 2g plus Z1 is equal to P2 by gamma plus V2 square by 2g plus Z2. Or we can write B1 square minus V2 square by 2g is equal to P2 by gamma plus Z2 minus P1 by gamma plus Z1. And we can write this V theoretical whole square divided by 2g is equal to, and we know that this is the potential head difference or differential head of pitot tube. So V theoretical is equal to the square root of 2g into h. So theoretical velocity in a pitot tube is square root of 2gh. Here one term, new term I am going to introduce, that is coefficient of velocity, CV. We have already discussed the coefficient of discharge and coefficient of contraction. So coefficient of discharge is the ratio of actual discharge to the theoretical discharge, and coefficient of contraction in the last class I have discussed, it is the ratio of area at the vena contracta to the original area. So here coefficient of velocity is defined as ratio of actual velocity to the theoretical velocity. So coefficient of velocity, and this value lies between 0.98 to 0.99 for the pitot tube. So the ratio of actual velocity to the theoretical velocity. For pitot tube, the value of CV belongs to 0.98 to 0.99. Another relation that is I am going to discuss, CC into CV is equal to CD. We have to remember coefficient of contraction into coefficient of velocity is equal to coefficient of discharge. So we can write the actual velocity in the pitot tube is equal to CV times square root of 2g into h. So this is the actual velocity in the pitot tube. Note, here I am going to discuss what is stagnation point. So stagnation point, it is the point where velocity of the flow becomes zero. The point where velocity of flow becomes zero. So in the point 2 is the stagnation point, and point 1 is the static point. So I have discussed the stagnation point, the point where velocity of flow becomes 0, and I have shown in the figure that is this point is known as stagnation point and this point is known as static point. Similarly, note second, anemometer measure air and gas velocity. Anemometer measure air and gas velocity. Similarly, Prandtl tube or pitot static tube. Pitot static tube. So this is used to measure velocity at a point in fluid flow. Fourth point, elbow meter. Elbow meter. So elbow meter is a device which is used to measure discharge. So it is a device used to measure discharge. And the last point in the notes, that is nozzle meter. Nozzle meter. So this is the truncated form of the venturi meter without the diverging cone. Without the diverging cone. So this is also a device used to measure discharge. Used to measure discharge. So this is the problem I have taken. A steel pipe of diameter 50 cm carries water at a rate of 30 liters per second from a point A to B along the pipe. The point B being 20 meters higher than point A and 600 meters apart along the pipe. If the pressure at point B is to be 2.8 kg per centimeter square, what is the pressure must be maintained at A if the friction factor for the pipe is 0.024? In the next question, what will be the capacity of the pipe after 15 years of service when the friction factor is to be tripled? Assume the same pressure are to be maintained at A and B. So let us assume this is our pipe. So this is our pipe. This is end A and this is our end B. And B is 20 meters above, higher than A. It is given in the question. The given data, Q is equal to 30 liter per second. So if I convert in meter cube per second, so it is 0.03 in meter cube per second. Diameter of the pipe is given. D is equal to 15 centimeter, so 0.15 meter. And the pressure at B is given. PV is equal to 2.8 kg per centimeter square. So if I convert in Newton per meter square, so 2.8 into 9.81 divided by 10 to the power minus 4. So it is 2.75 into 10 to the power minus 5 plus 5 Newton per meter square. Length of the pipe is given 600 meter and the friction factor is given 0.024. So let us assume this is our datum. So ZA is equal to 0 and ZB, datum head, is 20 meter. So if I apply the Bernoulli's equation, apply Bernoulli equation at A and B. So we can write PA by gamma plus VA square by 2G plus ZA is equal to PB by gamma plus VB square by 2G plus ZB plus head loss. So we can write PA by gamma plus VA square by 2G plus 0 is equal to PB by gamma plus VA square by 2G plus 20 plus head loss according to the Darcy Weisbach friction factor. HL is equal to FL VA square by 2GD or FL QA square by 12.1 D5. FL QA square by 12.1 into D5. So in more detail this Darcy Weisbach friction factor I will discuss in the laminar flow as well as in the pipe flow, how it will come. Note, Darcy friction factor. So according to Darcy, head loss HF is equal to FL V square by 2GD, where F is the friction factor, L is the length, V is the velocity, D is the diameter. Or we can write in terms of discharge. So V is equal to Q by A. So we can write FL Q square divided by 12.1 into D5. So that same thing I have written in the head loss. So we can write PA by gamma W is equal to gamma W plus V square by 2G plus 0 is equal to PB is 2.75 into 10 to the power 5 divided by 9.8 into 1000 plus V square by 2G plus 20 plus, if I put the value of F, L, Q and D, so it is coming, F is given 0.024 into length is 600 into Q is 0.03 whole square divided by 12.1 is diameter is 0.15 to the power 5. So V square by 2G, V square by 2G is cancelled. So PA by gamma W is equal to, we can write this value is 28 plus 20 plus 0.024 into 600 into 0.03 whole square divided by 12.1 into 0.15 to the power 5. So PA is equal to 62.1 into 9810. So it is PA is equal to 6.1 into 10 to the power 5 Newton per meter square. So pressure at A I have computed. In the second part, after 15 years, when friction factor is tripled means F is equal to 3 times into 0.024, means the friction factor is 0.072, and at that time pressure at A is equal to pressure of B is given. So once again, if I apply the Bernoulli equation, so apply Bernoulli equation at A and B, so we can write PA by gamma W plus VA square by 2G plus ZA is equal to PB by gamma W plus VB square by 2G plus ZB plus HF. So this value is 0, VA VB is equal to 0, ZA is 0, means 0 is equal to 20 plus FLQ square divided by 12.1 into D5. So FLQ square divided by 12.1 D5 is equal to minus 20. So negative sign indicates that work is done by external device to maintain same pressure at A and B. So we can write FLQ square divided by 12.1 into D5 is equal to 20. So Q square is equal to 20 into 12.1 into 0.15 to the power 5 divided by F is 0.072 into length is 600. So the value of Q is 0.021 meter cube per second. So this is the discharge asked in the question. Next question. A 15 centimeter diameter pipe carries 70 liter per second of oil, and specific gravity of oil is 0.75. At a section 62 centimeter above the datum, the pressure is 2 centimeter vacuum of mercury and specific gravity is given 13.6. Assuming kinetic energy correction factor of 1.1, what is the total head? What is the total head in meter of oil at the section? Your options are option A 1.057, option B 1.137, option C 1.148, and option D 1.228. So this question is asked in Civil Services Examination 2009. This question is asked. A 15 centimeter diameter pipe carries 17 liter of oil. Specific gravity is 0.75. At a section 62 centimeter above the datum, the pressure is 2 centimeter vacuum of mercury. Specific gravity is 13.6. Assuming kinetic energy correction factor of 1.1, what is the total head in meter of oil of the section? And your options are given. So given data, diameter is given 0.15 meter. Discharge is 70 liter per second. 70 liter per second, so 0.07 meter cube per second. Specific gravity of oil is 0.75. Kinetic energy correction factor is 1.1, and Z is equal to 0.62 meter. So total head is the sum of piezometric head plus datum head. So P by gamma plus alpha V square by 2G plus Z is the total head, where P is equal to 2 centimeter vacuum in terms of Hg. So we can compute 2 into 13.6 divided by specific gravity is given 0.75 in terms of oil. So it is 36.26 centimeter vacuum. So total head is equal to, pressure is vacuum means minus (362) plus alpha is 1.1 times velocity we can write Q by A. So 0.07 divided by pi by 4 into 0.15 whole square into 1 by 2G plus Z is 0.62. So the total head is coming 1.137 meter. So your option B is correct. Another question. Two small circular orifices of dia D1 and D2 respectively are placed on the side of tank at depth of 25 centimeter and 1 meter below. 1 meter below a consistently maintained surface of water. If the discharge through the orifice, are the same, what is the ratio ratio of the diameter d1 to d2, and your options are 1 by 2, option B 1 by root 2, option C 2, and option D 2. So these are question, and this question is asked in Civil Services Examination 2008. So we know that the discharge through orifice is equal to CD A1 A0 root under 2GH divided by square root of A1 square minus A0 square, or we can write Q is equal to A0 CC into CV square root of 2GH. So here Q is directly proportional to A0 into root H, and Q is same, Q1 is equal to Q2, so we can write A1 not 1 into a square root of H1 is equal to A0 2 into a square root of H2, or we can write A0 1 is pi by 4 into D1 square into a square root of H1 is equal to pi by 4 into D2 square into a square root of H2. So D1 square by D2 square is equal to square root of H2 by H1. So it is 0.25 divided by 1 means 0.5. So D1 by D2 is equal to 1 by square root of root 2. So B option is correct. Dear student, today I have discussed about the pitot tube, and in pitot tube we have seen the expression of theoretical and actual velocity, and the expression of theoretical velocity, that is equal to square root of 2gh, and the expression of actual velocity is equal to cv times square root of 2gh, where cv is the coefficient of velocity, that is equal to the actual velocity ratio of actual velocity to the theoretical velocity, and for the pitot tube the value of coefficient of velocity is generally taken as 0.9n8. And after that I have discussed what is anemometer. So anemometer is used to measure the gas velocity, and after that I have discussed another measuring device which is used to measure the discharge, that is nozzle meter and elbow meter. And after that I have taken some problems based on the Bernoulli's equation and we have solved it. So in the next class I will discuss another topic which is related to the fluid mechanics. So take care of your health and happy learning.